Hi, this is Dave.
And I'm Cody.
With the Miniatures Rundown. We're here to talk about a new Star Trek miniatures game coming out from WizKids that is not Star Trek Armada. Or is it?
Or Starmada, as
Right.
it's been being called on the internet right now.
ST:(Armada.
Mm-hmm.
I just did that from my perspective, so you would have to turn it around to see it. Actually, it's called Star Trek Into the Unknown. It's going to be their second miniatures game after Attack Wing. Attack Wing has been controversial. Some people feel it's too dogfighty, and the biggest gripe is that the miniatures in Attack Wing are not to relative scale with each other. So the Defiant is the same size as the Enterprise in that game, more or less.
Right.
Very similar size.
Yeah. And whereas Attack Wing was the Star Trek version of X-Wing, kind of, this is the reason why they call it Starmada. This is kind of Star Trek's version of Star Wars Armada.
As far as we can tell so far.
So far, from the looks of it.
Yeah, the looks and the gameplay, there are commander cards, we know that much. There are options, I believe, you can give to ships, and it's mission-based.
Mm-hmm.
And one interesting thing about this, also, I think even beyond Armada, I don't think Armada does this, the game is not just about combat, even though that's a lot of it. There will also be research and diplomacy aspects to the missions.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, speaking of that, there will be missions. The game is narrative-driven. It's meant to be played in a narrative campaign, but you can play pickup games. You can play one-off pickup games with the same rules.
Yeah, I've actually played Armada. I don't know if they had a campaign-style system to it. I've only played just a 1v1 skirmish type game, and so that's interesting that they're adding that on there.
Yeah. So it's looking pretty good, but one thing that might be controversial about it is it does use custom dice in that kind of Fantasy Flight style, or Attack Wing style, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, other games have done it, and they are fine, so...
They're fine. If it's like the X-Wing custom dice, I won't mind. I really do think those simplified the game. You get that little hit icon, and you don't have to think about numbers and math and all these things.
Yeah, I didn't really mind them in Armada that much either. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a D8, which is kind of cool, but they had hits, crits, and misses completely. One hit, two hit. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I don't mind it in a game like this. I'm not crazy about it in Fantasy Flight's Star Wars RPG, but that's a different conversation. There, I feel like it bogs the game down a little bit, but in games like this, I do think it can speed it up by removing that quick addition and modifiers and all those things that you have to crunch in your head.
It is due to release April of next year, so just a few months away, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and the core set is going to be the Federation versus the Dominion. The time period setting is the Dominion War, which I think was mostly covered in Deep Space Nine. We've seen images of Commander Sisko as a commander card. I think we've seen Picard as one of the commanders that you can use. It also looks like WizKids is all in with this because they've already announced in-store organized play programs, or a program, and expansions. They've already planned and I believe named some of the expansions. So it doesn't seem like they're just testing the waters here. It looks like they're really going all in with it.
It seems like they kind of have a full-fledged roadmap already for what they want to do with the game. So
Yeah. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I do like Star Wars miniatures games. I remember trying to play the old Starfleet Battles game, which had rules spread across several different books. The miniatures were pewter. Actually, they were lead first. Then they were pewter. You had to paint them, which, if you don't like doing, is another thing that you got to deal with. I was about to say Star Trek Armada by mistake. In Star Trek Into the Unknown, the miniatures will be pre-painted as well. But I'm sure they'll take paint if you want to do your own paint job.
yeah, it's very popular in the Armada community to paint the minis that are already painted, because
Yeah.
the little tiny rank and file ships or single pilot ships, those are all just regular plastic, and a lot of people paint those. But the bigger ships come pre-painted, like it looks like these will as well. But you can always slap a coat of primer on there and do your own thing with it.
Yeah. And still, I'm an outlier for an older guy. I prefer plastic miniatures over metals. Don't tell anyone I said that, except for the entire internet watching YouTube now.
I didn't really get into miniatures before metal, so I don't really have much experience with metal.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, for the first time in a long time, maybe more than a decade, we have a more traditionally naval-style game coming, perhaps, with Star Trek ships that isn't so dogfighty.
Yeah.
I guess
It's fun to see how it'll look.
yeah, we look forward to seeing it. Maybe we'll unbox it on the show.
Yeah.
All right, until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment, tell us what you think. Take a look at the ship images. Tell us what ships you think look interesting, how you felt about Attack Wing versus the idea of an Armada-like game. And until next time, I've been Dave.
I've been Cody.
And this has been the Miniatures Rundown.